And always taking a healthy interest in you, and you got to take care of yourself as well. Absolutely. All right. Now, I'm always looking out for interesting persons who have interesting things to tell, especially taking care of yourself. The program is named Ways to Wellness. Sometimes we hear we must take this out to the dad. Sometimes we hear that we must add this to the dad. And then sometimes you hear that totally, you don't need to cook anything. You can have it raw. And of course, some of us will say, how is that possible? Because certain things will not be eaten raw. It's not good for you. That's how we've grown up. Right. Well, I met a lady quite recently, and she used me like a guinea pig, and I tasted after. I actually made the salad myself with her instructions, of course, and I tasted it. It was great. And then I tasted something else, and that even tasted it better. And I said, hold on a minute. I need to talk to this lady some more because I need to find out some more. She calls herself a food and lifestyle coach. Now, that sounds like something I'd want to become, a food and lifestyle coach. Ronalda Bose, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Ways to Wellness. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing so great. I had some showers of blessings, so I'm in a great mood.
Wow. All right. How did you become a food and lifestyle coach? And what is a food and lifestyle coach, Mom?
Okay. A food and lifestyle coach is somebody who works with food not only as entertainment, but as a tool towards the entire body's wellness. Mm-hmm. And it's not something that you can just put down somebody's throat and say, you need to eat this type of foods. Exactly. Yes. So the coaching aspect of it now is that you have to encourage the person to show them that the foods that we're eating is the path, it's one of the only path to physical wellness.
Mm-hmm. And what you just say, you are what you eat, right?
Yes.
All right. So now, you specialize in non-cooked food.
Yes.
And I mean, there are things like Ackee. There are things like plantain. All these things are traditionally cooked. How did you discover that you can eat them raw in the way you do them and you're okay?
Okay, so my journey actually started 3 years ago when, I was a pastry chef before, and I was changing over into doing healthy desserts. And I was at a festival, and somebody come and look at my table, and she said, no, that is not healthy food.
Oops.
So, yes, right in front of a customer,
Oops.
And I looked at her and I said, thank God for 10 years of customer service.
Yes.
So I smiled and I asked her, what do you consider to be healthy food? And she said, raw foods. Have you ever heard of raw foods? Uh-huh. And I said, no. I said, where can I find it? She said, it's on the internet. Go and look it up. So 2012, I started the journey of researching raw foods, what it is, because it's a really big industry in the U.S. right now. Mm-hmm. California is one of the states that it's been going on for years. But one of the things I found in my research is that all the foods that they spoke towards, we kind of not have them in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. So unless we import them,
yes.
And when you import them, the fact is that it's more expensive.
Yes.
And I find that we as Jamaicans, if we don't recognize it, we're not going to eat it. So I had to start working with our own foods.
Yes.
And in doing so, for the last 3 years, I've just been working at it. And of course, I use myself and my family as guinea pig.
Uh-huh.
And I've had the opportunity also to work with 2 other great raw food chefs. Ben and Nakawuki, we worked together.
Very well, yes.
Yes, we did a couple live demonstrations. And also Ben from Fire
Know
Live.
him too.
He is a mad scientist and I love them both. But the funny thing is that while I was coming up and I thought I was such a baby in the whole industry, they saw something and I said, no man, you can do this. And I worked with them within my own capacity, but I was also learning from them the way how they did a lot of things. And, we sat down and we had a lot of talks and I started putting my own spin on it. And I decided to only focus on foods that are grown locally in Jamaica.
Yes.
And to add one last little point, if me can't find it on a Coronation Market, I'm not buying it.
Yes, because I did ask her about her green juice
Yes.
recipe and the things that I saw in it. I said, then Miss Ronalda, where am I going to find this and this? She said, down a Coronation. And guess what, listener? She brought something looking very green in a bottle for me this morning. So I guess she went down Coronation Market to get this kind of thing. Now, this, for instance, there's this thing in your bottle here, your green juice, which everybody talking about these days, the green juice. It have callaloo, it have cucumber, it have lime, watercress, local celery, parsley, and callaloo leaves. What it good for, Mom?
Oh my goodness. You see, now that we're having a lot of these showers of blessings and the seasons are changing, I find that a lot of persons, they're having sinus attacks. What this does, this type of green juice, it helps to flow, move the sinus, help it to remove it from the body.
Okay.
And along with this green juice, what I would also advise is to cut down on the rice and the flour and the bread. Not because of dietary reasons, but because it helps to build up the mucus in the body.
Okay.
Now, my green juice is magic, but it's not that magical if you're giving it extra work to do.
Right. So in your research now about eating raw foods, what are some of the things basically they were saying why we can have foods without them touching the fire?
I love that question because when I started out, making all my fabulous foods and things, that people look at me like, we're not eating that because it don't cook. So I realized that, okay, if you don't know what this is, and even though it look very familiar, then I'll have to teach you about it. Eating raw foods, you are giving your body the nutrients that it need. I should point out that when you cook your food, you destroy all the vitamins, all the mineral that the food has to offer. And you're robbing yourself of the greatness of what these plants can do for you. Now, I always tell people now, I'm not telling you to go and eat to just jump whole in this lifestyle. I would love it if they could, But the mere fact that we're having a lot of lifestyle diseases like diabetes and hypertension, eating more live foods with live nutrients that the body needs and can use appropriately, it's the best way to go.
So, for instance, if I'm deciding I'm going to be having vegetables and I steam some carrot, I steam chocho, I steam cabbage, and I'm thinking I'm doing great. I'm not doing so good then.
No, all you're getting is a fiber. But in terms of the minerals and the nutrients that the body requires, the cells require to do their functions properly, it's not getting it. Magnesium is one of the minerals that it works well with every other mineral in the body. It helps them to do their jobs. The body needs iron. And as you know, Jamaica is one of those countries that 95% of us, we are anemic.
Yeah.
And when you cook out every single nutrient, you could eat cooked callaloo till you're blue. You're not going to get the nutrients that your body requires. And in terms of supplements, it is my opinion, I prefer to eat the live nutrients.
Yeah, so for instance, you mentioned callaloo. We boil callaloo all the time. So how could I have callaloo that is, I'm getting all the nutrients and the fiber and everything?
Okay, one of the ways of which I prepare callaloo, and I really love it because it is so easy, you chop it up like regular, you season it like regular, so you add your tomato, you add your onion, your scallion. Now, what I use as the cooking agent, I use lime juice, but lime juice for me is one of the wonders in my live food preparation because, one, it helps to cut down on the amount of salt intake.
Which is a bad thing again.
Exactly.
Too much of anything is bad, yeah?
So the lime juice enhances the salt. So what I usually do is to season the lime juice. I will probably add a little coconut oil, a little bit of Himalayan salt, and I'll be very specific with Himalayan or sea salt because anything you put in your body, you must be getting some nutrients from. And even though they may appear to be a little bit more expensive, they are less expensive than going in a doctor's office.
Got you.
Because they have all the nutrients that the body requires.
So you season up your callaloo, you add all these things, and then what?
No, then after we season the lime juice, now we pour it over the callaloo, and this is also the technique that I love to talk to women, of course, some men too, because they're in the kitchen. When you come home from work, right, and you just want to pound something, yes. You're going to take your hands and you're going to massage the callaloo. No, it's not no petty massage, you know.
Yes. And that should have tell me when I was doing the thing, you know, listeners. I was there daintily massage. She said, no, put it all in it. Yes.
And put some back in it.
Yes. All right. And then?
Then what happens when you do that now is that you help the callaloo to release its natural juices, the natural enzymes of it, and this will help to break it down.
Okay.
No, it won't get soggy. What it will do, you'll still have that nice crispness of the callaloo, but it will taste cooked.
Wow.
Now, after you finish preparing it, you can have it as is, and it would be a salad.
Yeah.
However, if you leave it for 4 hours or even overnight, you'll have that cooked look and cooked experience.
Oh, that sounds so good. So you're saving on gas or electricity because you're not cooking it.
Talk about saving your money.
So all I need to do with my bunch of callaloo is just wash it off.
Wash it off.
And then chop up and put all of these things, season it up and massage it.
Yes.
And just leave it there to marinate.
Yes.
And okay then. I always ask about the ackee because I grew up hearing, first of all, the ackee pot has to open before you pick the ackees. And then it must be boiled to release the poison that is in there. Now you're telling me I can have the ackee prepared properly and I won't get sick.
Yes, yes. I'm so glad you mentioned that. I love using the ackee dish as a opener for my live demonstrations because the first thing I get is an ackee na poison. And this is what I have to say. Now, if you have to know your vendors who you're purchasing your ackee from.
Okay.
If it's not coming off your own tree where you look on it and it just says to open, then I would suggest that you wait.
Okay.
Right. Now, with the ackee, is that you have to wait until the pot is open. Once the pot is open, the chemicals, they're naturally released. Okay. Ackee is a fruit that should be eaten as is. So when you cook it, you're literally cooking out everything.
So how do you prepare ackee?
Now, ackee, my favorite one. You chop up the ackee. You take each pod and you chop it in 3, so you get it nice and chunky. You add your seasonings, your tomato, your scallion, your scotch bonnet pepper, and you could add a little bit of coconut oil, but that's a personal choice because ackee itself is a nice fatty food. Okay. Yes. You remember when them say if you eat too much ackee, you will get fat. Yes, ackee it's a really lovely. It has a smooth, buttery taste, and that taste will come out when you have it live. So you cut it up, you season it properly, and then you add a little bit of lime juice, and of course you season it. Yes. Yeah, man, it's my favorite cooking agent, and by the way, natural lime juice. I use either orange juice or I pick the sour
so you squeeze
orange.
It yourself?
Squeeze it myself. Okay. Yes, natural is always best. And you pour it over it. Now, with the ackee, you don't have to leave it as much as 4 hours, but you can have it after an hour or 2 if you, it depends on your preference. If you like that nice little crunch, when it's just done, it's lovely. If you leave it for about an hour to marinate, ooh la la.
Wow.
The flavors that will hit you because you're tasting all the live tomatoes, that the scent alone will have you sneaking pieces of it.
All right. Bottom line is wonderful. I'm actually smelling everything right now. All right, Ronalda. Now, the plantain that you introduced us to now. First of all, when I looked at it, I thought it was ackee. And I thought, ooh. And you said, no, it's not ackee. It's plantain. No, I closed my eyes and I said, this is not cooked plantain. I love plantain. It's not cooked. How is this going to taste? Listen, man, I want to tell you, we went back for more because it was great. I mean, plantain again. Is it use green plantain or use ripe plantain?
Always ripe plantains. Food should be eaten in their natural ripened state. Exactly. That is how you get all the nutrients that you should be getting in the first place. For that day, I did a garlic scented plantain. Yes. So I made a delicious garlic sauce. Of course, my favorite chopped seasonings, and I added a bit more scotch bonnet pepper because you want that nice little heat. Yes, man. And then with the garlic sauce, I just blended some garlic with a little bit of coconut oil, with a little toops of honey. You know, with eating vegetables, it's not just picking a fruit and eat it. You have to still add that same energy and creativity with the seasonings and the flavors to still get the taste that you want, because your taste buds, them still alive. And you have to. We are human beings, so we eat for entertainment.
Yes.
So so I just seasoned that garlic. I added some nice little herbs like parsley and celery and cilantro that gave, and a little bit of mint. The mint was what added that kick, you know. When I blended that sauce together.
Yes. Wow. My goodness. So you don't eat meat at all? Do you eat meat?
I still do eat meat, but I don't eat it as much as how I did before. I don't prepare it at home, but funny thing, when I go out, persons will ask, so you only eat live food? And I will say I'll eat it at home, but I don't put other persons under the pressure of trying to prepare it for me. So I especially when I go to grandma on Sundays, grandma bev rice and peas and chicken.
So do you introduce any of these to grandma too?
Of course.
And she eat it? No.
She loving our smoothies and our veggies, and she always asks me to prepare them, man. But still, grandma bev and our rice and peas and chicken Sunday, cannot miss it. I can't dare tell her, say, no, grandma, I don't eat this now.
Exactly. She'll pitch you outside. But let me tell you, it was such an eye-opener, a very tasty eye-opener, Ronalda Bowes, I must tell you. And I mean, it sounds like you have a very exciting career as a food and lifestyle coach. I mean, you're not only having it for yourself, but you actually teach people what is good for you. We didn't have the time to go into like juices apart from the green juice over there.
Yes.
But maybe I'll get you back another time to talk about just the benefits of having things in the natural form, in the ripe form. She said food must eat when it's ripe, when it's ready, and the things that you can do. You save time, you save electricity, you save gas.
Yes.
And you're saving all the nutrients, which is very, very important. So Ronalda Bowes, thank you so much for coming this morning, and we certainly will be in touch, because we have to learn more. We have to take care of ourselves more. And so how much of that green juice I must drink, Mom? One time?
One time, but I brought some sample cups in case persons get a little jealous. But if I may add, I do have a recipe book coming up, and I do have a course with JBDC coming up in January. So we have a lot to look forward to. It's going to start on January the 28th. And this course, it teaches you everything, not just about live foods, but about the different teas, the different type of teas that you can, if you have a tummy ache, you can have a piece of ginger. So the partnership with JBDC is something that I'm looking forward to. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, man. And I'm looking out for that recipe book, definitely.
Of course.
All right. Thank you very much, Ronalda Bowes, food and lifestyle coach, talking this morning about living foods for long life and all of that. Trust me, very, very nice. Very, very pleasant supplies. Definitely what I tasted those things the other day. Ways to Wellness, brought to you by the National Health Fund, taking a healthy interest in you.